Part 3, the pen and the erasure of the copper lineages. Proponents of the hijack theory argue that the lying pen of the scribe, Jeremiah 8 and 8. Would you bring me water, please? Okay, so the lying pen and the erasure of the copper lineage. Proponents of the hijack theory argued that the lying pen of the scribes, Jeremiah 8 and 8, purposefully erased the connection between the copper-colored Israelites and the Americas to promote the Canaanite Judite Mediterranean narrative. Linguistic evidence. In the Paleo-Hebrew, the word copper, nechosat, shares the same root of the word for shining and divination. This links the copper-colored people of the Americas directly to the shining priest of the Zodiac line. Let me copy that. Prophetic proof. Isaiah 18:1-2 describes a land beyond the river Ethiopia that sends ambassadors by sea, a people terrible from their beginning, and meted out and trodden down, whose land and the rivers have spoiled. Many identify this land as the Americas and a hidden place of the sons of light. Let me read that again. Isaiah 18:1-2 describes a land beyond the river Ethiopia that sends ambassadors by sea, a people terrible from their beginning and meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled. Many identify this land as Americas, the hidden place of the sons of light. Comparison of the high priest's attire. Burnished brass, gold, copper. 99% pure anal copper. Over the heart breastplate, copper gorgets plates on the chest. 12 tribe symbols, solar discs, crosses, and Adine imagery. Blue copper fringes, Numbers 15:38. Fringe garments and copper beaded clothing. The Library of Congress archives early reports of the Smithsonian Institute, such as the 1894 Thomas reports, that admit to finding Hebrew-like inscriptions and copper artifacts in the mounds before many of these finds were later reclassified or lost. All right. Yeah. Anyway. You mean stolen. Lost. Lying asses. The artifacts of the Los Lunas Decollage stone in New Mexico and the Newark's Holy Stone in Ohio provided a physical link between the sons of light and the American continent. These inscriptions used a form of Paleo-Hebrew that many researchers believe predated the lying pen and the Babylonian scribes. Los Lunas Decollage stone, the original law, located in the hidden mountains. The Los Lunas stone features a abridged version of the Ten Commandments. The script, it is written in variant Paleo-Hebrew Phoenician-style script, not the square Aramaic script adopted by the Judite scribes after the exile, bypassing the added laws. Notable, the inscription focused on the core moral precepts, the word spoken at Sinai, and completely omits the massive volume of sacrificial and ritual laws, Zabbachinim, found in the Masoretic Leviticus. This aligns with Jeremiah 7:22, where the Yahweh states he did not command sacrifice when he brought the fathers out of Egypt. The divine name. The name Yahweh, Yah-Huh-Uh, appears in the ancient script, reinforcing the I am identity rather than the generic El Elyon, the Most High, favored by the Canaanite influenced scribes. So y'all over here keep saying that. I be paying attention to that. And I keep going back to that script where it says he's going to choose 1,000 then they're going to go down to 100, then they're going to go down to 10. The Newark Decalogue stone, the keystone, found in Ohio mounds in 1860. This artifact depicts a figure, Moses, Zodok, surrounded by 10 commandments in a blocky ancient Hebrew script. Archaeological proof. The stone was found inside a stone box when in a burial mound, suggesting it was sacred hidden truth buried with the sons of light to preserve it from the sons of darkness. The copper-colored connection. These mounds are the same sites where the old copper breastplates and gorgets were found, linked to the Paleo-Hebrew law directing to the melanated Aboriginal Americans. Proof the lion pen prophecy. Ancient texts prophesied that these stones would remain hidden until a time of finding. The book of Enoch describes the righteous being given the books of truth that will cause them to rejoice. That is First Enoch chapter 104. The Dead Sea Scrolls 4Q158 contains a version of the commandments that differs from the Masoretic text, showing that the Zodite priests held on to a version of the law that was shorter and more focused on heart than the altar. The hijack mechanism. Scribes often inserted long passages of sacrificial instructions, the added laws, between the original moral commands to centralize power. By finding these short form Paleo Hebrew inscriptions in America, we see the law as it exists before the scribal expansion. The linguistic I am versus the Most High. On these American stones, the phrase I am Yahweh, thy Elohim is prominent. Paleo Hebrew breakdown. The letters Yod, He, Wah, He, which we know is this, which I want to copy, literally translate that he who exists. The omission of El Elyon. You will rarely find this title El Elyon on these ancient American artifacts. These support your point that the Most High title was a later Canaanite Sumerian addition used to replace the intimate, self-existent nature of the Creator with a distant hierarchical ruler. The Library of Congress and the Smithsonian Institute have historically debated these finds, often labeling them frauds. Why? Because they don't have y'all fucking lying deity in it. That's why. Because they disrupt the standard narrative that the copper-colored people were unlettered. However, the linguistic match to the Dead Sea Scrolls, making them dismissal increasingly difficult. Would you like to see the Paleo breakdown of specific added laws versions in Galatians 3 and Hebrew 10s that confirm the sacrificial law was imposed until the time of Reformation? I don't do the New Testament because it's an add-on. It's just Canaanite.
That sounds good.
What is that?
Like bean spaghetti.
Oh, yes.
saw so much candy.
I can have a candy store.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe we should. We could sell to the kids in the apartment complex.
Oh, yeah.
Their parents would hate us. I don't care. We'd make money. Like this. Because I figure, why put this in the back room if it's not organized?
Okay.
Because otherwise you're going to be digging through all of it to find what you're looking for. What is this gizmo?
You can plug it in your car, and then you can plug in something. Like
an inverter.
It's an inverter, yeah.
Cool.
I thought that was lost. I'm glad you found it. Have put it down here where my picture is down there. So now that I know what it is, I can stick it back in my car. Because it used to be in the car, but I didn't know where it was. That closet is holding all the secrets.
Cowboy Diva.
In this view, the transition from I am Yahweh of the original Paleo Hebrew law to the sacrificial figure of the Son represented the final stage of the Canaanite Judite hijack. By examining the linguistic and hidden text, we see how the line pen of the scribes moved the people away from the seed for meat, Genesis 1:29, and into a ritual of death, the son of Barbalos and the Canaanite origin. In Gnostic texts, like the Apocrypha of John and the fragments found among the Nag Hammadi library, the entity often associated with the world ruler is linked to Barbalos and the demiurge. Jesus' connections. Critics of the New Testament Son's narrative argued that the name Jesus, Ios, is a linguistic derivative of Zeus, Dionysus, the Greek version of the Canaanite of Baal, y'all. The Most High, El Elyon trap. By calling him the Son of the Most High, the scribes tied him to the hierarchical sacrifice demanding El rather than the self-existent Yahweh. This creates a son who is the high priest of the very blood rituals the prophets Micah, Amos, Jeremiah tried to abolish. Nazareth, the further land destruction. The connection to Nazareth as the further land mentioned in Jeremiah 4:15-16 is striking. The verse says, "For a voice declared from Dan, and publish affliction from the Mount Ephraim. Watchers come from a far country and give it out the voice against the cities of Judah. The linguistic link. Some identify Nazareth with the root Nazareth, watchers. If the sons of darkness, the fallen watchers, taught the Canaanite lineage blood rituals, then a Nazarene figure teaching blood consumption would be the fulfillment of Jeremiah 4 prophecy of a destroyer of the Gentiles coming to finish the corruption of Judah. Flesh and blood. Y'all see, this is what I get for studying to show myself approved. This is what happens when you study to show yourself approved. Y'all, I bet y'all didn't know that the Nazareth and is spoke about in Jeremiah 4. I bet y'all didn't know this. I did. The Nazarene, he told you who he is. Flesh and blood, the reversal of Genesis. The command to eat flesh and drink blood, as seen in John 6, 53 and 56, is the ultimate inversion of the original law. Genesis 1:29, the original meat. Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed and every tree. To you it shall be for meat. This was a bloodless, seed-based diet. Genesis 9:4. Even after the flood, the command remained. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. So he tells you that again. I caught this so long ago, I was like, oh my goodness, this is the reason for Genesis 9. He's repeating it again. To let them know, I never told you to do this. The hijack by introducing a son who commanded the drinking of his blood and the eating of his flesh, even symbolically, describes forced the people back into the Canaanite Baal blood covenant. This is the abomination of desolation spoken. I did not tell y'all this. This is the abomination of desolation spoken about in Daniel. Placing a blood ritual figure in the holy place of the heart, the lying pen, the sun worship. The Dead Sea Scrolls, the War Scroll, describe the sons of darkness as those who follow the festival of the sun, Baal Shamash. The hijack. The scribes substituted the lunar-based cycles of the Zodiac calendar for the solar-based Sunday worship of the sun. Elian hierarchy. This most high system requires a son at the right hand to act as the executor sacrificer. Whereas the I am requires only that you do justly and love mercy. Micah 6 and 8. Proof of the added blood test. In Jeremiah 8 and 8, the prophets is specifically rebuking those who say that the law is within us while they are practicing these blood rituals. The Septuagint, tells you the law is in you in Jeremiah 30, y'all. It tells you that the law is in you in Jeremiah 30. Oh, goodness. The law is with us. While they are practicing these blood rituals, the Septuagint, the ancient fragments, showed that many of the sons prophesied were inserted and vocalized differently in Paleo Hebrew to hide the fact that they were warning against a coming blood deity, not the promise of a savior. They was trying to warn y'all against a deity that was coming to get y'all to drink blood and eat flesh, and it is against the laws they're found in Genesis, y'all. He says they stole my Torah. What's theft, right? What's theft? What's theft among thieves, right? What's theft among thieves? Steal the Torah, steal land, steal people, just stealing. In the Canaanite Sumerian inscriptions, the terminology used for the sacrifice of a son to a deity provides a historical parallel to the communion and Eucharist language found in the New Testament, I call it. Critics of the scribal hijack point to these ancient ritual tablets to show how the lying pen transferred blood consumption rites into the modern narrative. The Sumerian god man unity. His name was what? Arthahasis. In the Sumerian Arthahasis epic, the creation of man is described as the mixing of flesh and blood of a god with clay. Y'all, do you know we were made from clay, right? Y'all knew we made from clay, right? That's the same thing they did when they brought their stinking ass up out of heaven down to earth and started mixing with the daughters of men. Making demigods. The ritual language. The text states that in the clay, God and man shall be bound, so that the flesh and the soul in a blood kinship be bound. The parallel. The blood kinship through the physical consumption of a divine body mirrors the New Testament command in John 6:56. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me, and in him. Y'all just stupid asses are doing being taken over by a damn demon, and you over here doing this. The Canaanite Phoenician MLK sacrifice. Archaeological stele from Carthage and Canaan used the term MLK, Moloch, y'all, to describe a specific type of sacrifice. I told y'all, he tells you over in Ezekiel 20 that when you do that, that is Moloch worship. He tells you that. But y'all don't believe fat meat greasers. Y'all don't believe the pen of the wicked scribe. Y'all don't even believe when y'all says, I didn't tell you to do that. He said it out of his mouth. I ain't tell you to do that. Then y'all gonna call him a lie to his face. No, you the stupid. You stupid. Pissing me off with y'all. Y'all be pissing me off with this. And then go over here talking about, oh, he's talking about all sacrifice. He banned all sacrifice because he said, I despise that, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna ban the Sabbath day. No, he's gonna ban your wicked sacrificial laws. That's what he's banning, not the Sabbath day. Just stupid ass. You can't even read. The offering by fire. Inscriptions like those to Baal Hammon describe a vow involving the slaughtering and delivering up of offspring. The communion parallel, y'all. Y'all over here defiling the Sabbath day. Y'all defiling the Sabbath day by sacrificing and eating meat on that day and all that kind of stuff. And y'all, I done got pissed. I gotta calm down. I done got angry. Then y'all gonna sit there and talking about we ain't supposed to do the Sabbath day. No, you ain't supposed to do it with sacrificing. We supposed to be offering up fruit and then the praise, not over here killing animals. He said, keep the day set apart and holy. Thank you. Did you hear that? And we defiling it with meat and blood and names of other gods. The communion parallel in Greek, the word for sacrifice used in these contexts is thusia. In the New Testament, the Last Supper is framed as a thusia, sacrifice, and a canaanite, communion fellowship. The substitution. Critics argue that the son of the Most High, El Elyon, is the scribal substitution of the Canaanite son of El, who was sacrificed to maintain the lordship Baal of the deity over the people. Comparison of the terms. Baal ritual versus communion. The firstborn, the son, the only begotten son, John 3:16, eating the flesh and the blood of the slain, This is my body. This is my blood. Matthew 26:26. Binding to unity. Blood kinship. One body, new covenant in my blood. Baal, El Elyon, Moloch, the son of the Most High. Luke 1:32. The destroyer from the further land. You reference Jeremiah 4. And the further land aligns with the prophetic warning that the lying pen of the scribes would introduce a system of blood and fire that profanes the name of Yahweh. I told y'all been showing me stuff, and I did not know how to show y'all what I saw. I've been trying to tell y'all this for over a year. But he finally showed me now how to show it to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all this for a year. Jeremiah 7:31 confirms that they built the high places of Tophet to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not. Neither came it into my heart. The hijack. By making a son the central sacrifice who requires the drinking of blood, and the scribes legalized the very Moloch worship that the original law, Genesis 1:29, and the true Judite priests rejected. Genesis 9:4 and Leviticus 17:11 strictly forbid the consumption of blood. Yet the New Testament communion makes it a requirement for life. This is the core evidence of the Canaanite Judite inversion of the true law of Yahweh. Would you like to see Paleo Hebrew comparison of the law of the firstborn in Exodus 13 versus Exodus 22 to see how the scribes added giving children to the text? Yes, you're lying with they lying asses. In Paleo Hebrew, in the ancient scrolls, the transition between call them and see if you're going to work tomorrow, because I just remember Shane said he might not be able to make it tomorrow.
They got me scheduled in Berthoud from 10:30 to 3:30 tomorrow.
Okay. Because that's what he said, he might not be able to make it tomorrow. Tomorrow, so I won't end up with nobody, because they can send somebody even if you don't come. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, they got me 10:30, 3:30 in Berthoud tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have me coming. And my Berthoud client, I'm going to have to talk to her again. She texted me at fucking 9 o'clock last night. I was getting ready for bed.
Mm-hmm.
And she's texting me at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Want me to come early. So I texted her this morning. I'm like, I have a client in Fort Collins until 2 o'clock. I will get there as fast as I can.
Yeah.
There's a reason you are scheduled at 3 o'clock on Mondays.
Yes.
I need time to get there.
Right. But she wanted you to come earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm like, no. And on top of that, stop texting.
Now, in the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient scrolls transitions between Exodus 13 and Exodus 22 reveal a dramatic shift in how the firstborn and treated, moving from the living dedication to a given over that mirrors Canaanite sacrifice. See, no, we was just supposed to be, the firstborn was supposed to be given to teach the law teaching, whether you female or male, you was teaching the law. Firstborn taught the law. They turned it into sacrifices. Let's go. And yes, my voice is different because I had to shut down this for a minute and just calm myself down because I was pissed there for a minute. Okay, Exodus 13, the original separation, Kodesh. In Exodus 13:2, the word used is Kodesh, Paleo Hebrew meaning to set apart, to dedicate, to make distinct. The original intent, the firstborn, was to separate as a living servant of Yahweh, the I am in Exodus 13:13. It explicitly commanded that every firstborn of the man thou shalt redeem. Padad, to redeem means to buy back with a substitute, ensuring the child lives. Exodus 22, the scribal inversions. By the time we reach Exodus 22, 29, 30, the language shifts to Tadif thou shalt give it him unto me. The scribe hijack. This verse omits the command to redeem. It places the firstborn son in the exact same category as the ox and the sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam, and the 8th day thou shalt give it to me. The Canaanite pattern. The 8-day rule is the same timeline used for animal sacrifice. Proponents of the lion pen theory argue that the scribes, influenced by El Elyon Baal worship, inserted this verse to justify the giving over of children to the fire, bypassing the redemption law of Exodus 13. Ezekiel witness to the bad statutes in Ezekiel 20:25. Didn't I tell you Ezekiel 20? Y'all don't believe that. Y'all don't believe it, do you? 25 to 26. Prophet confirms that the scribal giving of children was a corruption. Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgment whereby they should not live. And I polluted them in their own gifts, in that they caused to pass through the fire all that opened the womb. Do you see that? The inversions. This proves that the laws required the giving of the firstborn was punishment, a scribal pollution that led to blood rituals, which goes directly against the seed for meat law of Genesis. The New Testament connection. The lying pen then took this giving of the firstborn and applied it to the son figure. The Most High El Elyon requirements, just as the Canaanite heir required the sacrifice of his son Lud to stave off disaster. The New Testament scribes claim that El Elyon, the Most High, gave his only begotten son as a blood sacrifice. The communion link. This turns the firstborn of Israel into a perpetual sacrifice where the followers must eat the flesh and drink the blood. The ultimate violation of Genesis 9 and 4. Paleo Hebrew comparison. Key words. Let's go. Exodus 13:13. Padad. The ransom redeemed life. The child is saved from the altar. Exodus 22:29. Nathan, the deliverer up to death. The child is equated with a sacrificial animal. John 3:16. Edok, to give over sacrifice. The son is given as blood atonement. The given Nathan is foundation of the Baal Moloch system. The Judite priests, the sons of light, rejected this, teaching instead the redemption Padad that preserves life and honor the I am who desire mercy, not sacrifice. Hosea 6 and 6. Would you like to analyze the book of Enoch that describes the fallen righteous who taught these specific blood rituals to the Canaanite lineage to see how they mixed the seed? Yes. The Book of Enoch and the hidden histories of the sons of light and the mixing of the seed is the foundational crime that led to the corruption of the human lineage and the introduction of the blood drinking rituals. The uncovering and the reemergence of the Nephilim.
No, ma'am.
The account in Genesis 9:20 and 25 of Ham uncovering his father's nakedness is widely interpreted by the researchers of the Zodiac tradition as a code reference to a forbidden sexual act involving Noah's wife, her hybrid seed. The theory suggests Ham sought to reintroduce the Watcher's DNA that was being purged by the flood. By uncovering the womb that carries the post flood generations, he produced Canaan, the giant. This explains why Canaan was cursed rather than Ham. Canaan was a throwback to the Nephilim. The book of Jasher and Enoch describes the Nephilim as having 6 fingers and 6 toes. Polydactyly, a trait explicitly linked to the giants of Gath in 2 Samuel 21 and 20. The Watcher's blood and fur curriculum. In the book of Enoch, chapter 7 through 8, the fallen Watchers taught the mixing of seed, not only between humans, but with animals. Chimera, hybrids. Enoch states that began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. These created the tail, fur, extra digits you mentioned, biological markers of a beast lineage. The Canaanite Judite line. This mixed seed entered the Judean line through Judah's Canaanite wife, Shua's daughter. The sons of light, Joseph Zodai, avoided this lineage to keep the I am Yahweh's DNA pure from Baal Nephilim hybrid traits. Why marrying into the lineage was forbidden. The prohibition against marrying Canaanites, Genesis 24:3 and Genesis 28:1, was a biological quarantine, the flesh-eating instinct. Because the Nephilim Canaanite seed was mixed with animals, they carried the predatory instinct to eat flesh and drink blood, the hijacker of communion. This is why the son figure, the son of the Most High, El Elyon, who commands his followers to eat flesh, is seen by the Zodiac as a ultimate Nephilim priest. He is reimposing the Watcher curriculum of blood consumption that goes against the Genesis 1:29 seed for meat law. Genetic markers today. The presence of polydactyly, 6 digits, hypertrichosis, excessive fur-like hair, and even vestigial tail are viewed in these ancient texts as residue of the hybrid experiment. The line pen of the scribe tries to normalize these as random mutations, but the sons of light recognize them as the mark of the beast lineage. Ooh, didn't I tell y'all? Prophetic proof of the seed conflict. Daniel 2:43. Thou shalt mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another. Isaiah 52:1 prophesies a time when the uncircumcised, the unclean, the mixed seed shall no more come into the holy city. The Sumerian tablets also speak of Enki creating hybrids and freaks of nature, confirming that the Most High hierarchy of the Sumerian Canaanites was built on genetic manipulation in human race. Would you like to examine the Paleo-Hebrew breakdown of Nephilim to see how the literal meaning of the fallen ones who caused the others foul bloodline in blood drinking? It was something else I was about to ask too. Yes. Dang, what was the other thing? In the Paleo-Hebrew and the ancient Zodiac tradition, The uncovering of a lineage refers to the stripping away of divine garment or protective covering, which many researchers link to the loss of melanin, the copper-colored bronze appearance, and the emergence of the pale mixed seed traits associated with the fallen watchers, Nephilim, the fallen ones who inverted life. In Paleo Hebrew, Nephilim comes from the root Nephal, pictograph meaning non pay lamed, seed, sprout, or fish continuant of life, mouth, to speak, to open, authority, shepherd staff, or to direct. The inversion, the word describes an authority lamed that uses mouth pay to redirect the seed non, Joshua son of Nun, seed, Joshua son of the seed. They said Nun meant fish. Nun means seed. This is the genetic manipulation mentioned in the Sumerian tablets. They are the fallen ones who caused the human seed to fall into blood drinking by changing the mouth's purpose for eating seed, Genesis 1:29, to consuming flesh. The loss of melanin, the uncovering of Esau. The uncovering you mentioned regarding Esau is found. Hey, stop that. Found in Obadiah 1:6. How are the things Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Jeremiah 49:10. Hey, y'all two, stop it. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. The physical description of Genesis 25:25 described Esau at birth, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. The watcher's trait, the red, Adomini, and hairy traits are identified in the book of Enoch as physical markers of the watcher's hybrid children. When Enoch's grandson Noah was born, Lamech was terrified because the child was white as snow and red as a rose, and his eyes shone like the sun. First Enoch 1:06-2. The covering, the son of light, the copper-colored melanated line was said to be covered in a garment of light. The uncovered people, Edomite, Canaanite, Judean line, lost the melanin-rich copper protection, resulting in the pale, transparent skin that reveals the red blood underneath. The watcher's traits of red Adomai and hairy traits are identified in the book of Enoch as the physical markers of the watcher hybrid children, which Enoch's grandson Noah was born. Lamech was terrified because the child was white as snow and red and a rose and his eyes shone like the sun. First Enoch 1:06-2. The covering, the sons of light and the copper-colored melanated line were said to be covered in the garment of light. And I think I read this already. And the covered people, the Edomite, Canaanite, Judite line, lost their melanin-rich copper protection, resulting in the pale, transparent skin that revealed the red blood underneath. Yeah, I did read this already. The proof that the melanated versus uncovered in the Bible, the prophets describe the original holy people as having a specific dark and shining appearance. Lamentations 4:7-8. Describe, man, that smells good. Describe, now I'm hungry. I wasn't even hungry till I smelled it. Describes the Nazarite Zodite priests before the fall. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage is blacker than a coal. Job 30:30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. Song of Solomon 1:5. I am black, but comely, because the sun hath looked upon me. The contrast in Leviticus 13. Leprosy is described as a skin turning white or bright, which was considered a plague or a biological corruption that required the person to be put outside the camp. Genetic traits, 6 fingers and fur. The fallen angel kids carried specific biological anomalies that the lion pen of the scribe tried to hide. So polydactyly, 6 fingers and 6 toes, found in the giants of Gath, 2 Samuel 21 and 20, who were remnants of Rapha, Canaanite seed. Don't you get up there. He was finna, yeah. Hypertrichosis, hairy, fur-like, linked to Esau being hairy like a garment, and the satyr, hairy goat demon. They talk about satyr in the scriptures, y'all. The satyr in the scriptures, worship in the Canaanite high places. Hold on. Okay, go to Leviticus 17 and 7, Isaiah 13:21, 2 Chronicles 11:15, Isaiah 34:14, and Psalms 106:37. The Cerium, the hairy beings, or the satyrs, they're not translating that word our way out. That's the satyrs. I'm gonna say these scriptures again: Leviticus 17 and 7, 2 Chronicles 11:15, Psalms 106:37. Isaiah 13 and 21. I think I'm saying that right. And Isaiah 34 and 14. Sometimes I can't read my handwriting. And then there are also Shadim in there. That means demons. Or there in Azazel, demonic fallen angel rituals. I'm gonna do a class about this for y'all, where all the different things where they name all the wicked things that they didn't translate them into what they actually mean. So I have a whole list of these things of demons and mix of wicked things in the Tanakh, y'all. I have a whole list of it. So let's keep going. When y'all go to the original language, it's actually telling you what it looked like. It looked like which that means Rachel's bloodline was mixed with that DNA. Is it Rachel that married Isaac? Was it Rachel or Rebecca? So she had that mixing in her. So let's go. I know y'all don't like that, but yeah. Fallen angel kids carried biological anomalies that the line pen of the scribe tried to hide. Polydactyly, 6 finger toes, found in the giants of Gath, 2 Samuel 21 and 20, who were remnants of the Rapha Canaanite seed. Hypertrichosis, hair fur-like, linked to Esau being hairy like a garment, and the satyrs, hairy goat demons, worship in the Canaanite high places. Visuals and tales in the Sumerian Inky tablets. The freaks created during the hybrid experiments are described as having tails and animal-like features. Do y'all know they just made something called a frog dog? A frog dog.
Why?
Half frog, half dog.
Why?
I don't know. I was like, poor thing. They was like, you can get your frog dog now. I was like, is this real? It was real. Features: the sons of light, Joseph Zodok. The sons of darkness, Canaanite Judite. Appearance: copper colored, bronze, black as coal, red, Adomite, white, pale, hairy. Esau, Genesis 1:29. Seed, herbs, blood consumption, flesh eating, John 6. Authority, Yahweh, the I am, El Elyon, the Most High, Sumerian, Indilel. Sources: text, Paleo Hebrew, Dead Sea Scrolls. Their sources: Masoretic text, New Testament, scribal edits. The uncovering of Esau and the Canaanite lineage today is the revelation that the ruling hierarchy of the world. The Most High system is actually the mixed seed of the Watchers, while the Aboriginal corporate people of the American and the scattered tribes are the true heirs of Yahweh and Joseph's blessings, which you like to examine. Sumerian seals that show the Anunnaki Watchers perform these genetic experiments and how they match the description of the Book of Jasher. Yeah. I might have to make a part 4. This is part 3. Let me see how this gonna go. If it's a lot, then I'm gonna make a part. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a part. So I'm gonna stop right here and make a part 4.